Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Welcome back. So, I'm going to show you guys a game that I played. And the idea here, I want to show you all kind of just some of the ideas. A little bit of a spoiler alert. I end up winning the piece. And I want to show you guys just kind of some clear, straightforward chess and some ideas, because it's not always so straightforward. Even when you're up a piece, you can go wrong, and that's not just a low elo thing. Not that I'm high elo, but that's not just a beginner level problem, losing a piece and then or winning the piece and still losing the game. I just want to kind of showcase some of this game and some of the logic that goes into converting this thing. So I play e4. We get a Ruy Lopez. Okay, Ruy Lopez. I drop back, and he attacks e4. You can castle here because the e file opens, and it's fine if you don't know that, whatever. But when they play d6, you have to defend your pawn. Okay, so this is I've been in this position a million times. All right, they play this move, and I'm not really sure why, but I want to play d4 here. I want to open the center, but first I play c3 because I want this square for the bishop, so he can't come in here and win this or trap it or any business like that. But I would also love it if I play this, we exchange, and I end up with this pawn center. So that's what I play. I think the best move is to play d4 straight away, actually the best move is to take. I'm never going to take there. So I play this. Bishop comes out, defends the knight, and I play here. We get this move, and now I come back to the little cubby hole that I created, okay? And then we get this move, which is a blunder, because obviously d5 wins a piece now. Now, you could win a couple, or win at least a pawn here, but the best move, or that is the best move, but they go back, and the idea here is you still win the pawn, I guess, but you maintain that bishop. You don't lose the bishop. So the bishop, I'm up a piece, but the bishop is now on this good diagonal. You're down a knight. Make no mistake, this is not a good position. But you're pressuring this. Your bishop's on a good diagonal. So you get a little bit of compensation for it. You don't just lose the piece and that's it. Okay. I play this. The computer wanted me to play c4. This knight wasn't playing, so I want to activate it. I have two squares to choose from, and I didn't like this square. You know, maybe you come in. I think it gets messy, so I come here. This is what I play. And they play this. And I thought when this got played that this was just a full-blown mistake. I thought that this was a really bad move. The computer actually absolutely hates it. I thought it was a mistake, maybe a blunder. It's bad. And I take, okay? It's not the best move. The point here is this is under attack, right? So you have to respond to this because your danger level ideas doesn't work. So you push, now you're threatening to take this, and I'm threatening to take this, but it doesn't work because it's in a pin. So you've got to deal with this. But when you do, you lose the pawn too. Now, Stockfish wanted me to take like this, but I wanted to take like this because it's not as direct as check, but they could just defend and castle. But this makes it, a little more complicated here because I'm threatening to win your queen. If you just played something, lackadaisical like this, you're going to lose your queen. So I get the discovery, right? They block to kill that discovery, but then my knight comes around. So now my least active piece has circled around and is now an anchor for this piece. And remember, I'm up a piece, and this is it, right? We both have both of our bishops. We both have our queens. We both got two rooks, right? Both have a knight. So this piece is the extra piece. And it's as active as I can make it. Okay? Again, I won a piece. He made a mistake in the opening and dropped a piece. And now I'm just playing as straightforward and simple as I can. I'm trying to keep my pieces active, not passive. I don't want to, I'm up a piece. I don't want to hide in a shell here and say, oh, I'm up a piece, the game's over. I'm continuing to make my position better, right? So the queens get traded, and that's another thing here. When this knight comes over, I'm threatening a queen trade. Because you're down a piece, a queen trade is really bad for you. But they trade. The best move was to take with the bishop, and I see why, because it keeps this a problem. If you move, then I've got a discovery, and yeah, so I didn't see that. Now the best move is to take. I didn't see. I've analyzed this since the game. I didn't have the benefit of the analysis. So I played this, and the point was I didn't want him to. So if I take and he takes, he's pinning the knight, and I didn't want to walk into a pin. You could play this, and then you get this check, and then it kind of. What? Something from work. I don't know what that is. Anyway, so I played this. All right, so it forces the issue with this knight. Either take me and trade off more material, or go back, and then this pawn isn't a problem anymore for my knight, right? Because right now you could push this forward and push this knight out. So he takes, we exchange, and he plays this. And I thought this move here was a problem because of this. But you could actually play here and hit the rook, whatever. Again, you could do that, but I'm trying to keep it simple. I just drop back. I just come back. Now, this is where it kind of goes off the rails. You have connected your rooks. The queens are off the board. So you don't necessarily have to castle, but the problem is you've walked into a pin. And, right, so this guy's pinned. Before, I was worried about this because it's undefended, and if you attack the knight has to move. Now you're attacking my undefended bishop. But now that you're in a pin, now I can play this and you can't take it. So worst case scenario for me is I exchange bishops and there's another piece off the board. Because remember, if we trade all the way down, I'm up a piece. If we trade off everything, then I'm just going to be up a piece in an endgame. And this is one step closer to that. So I'm just keeping it simple. Just keeping it simple. This is the best move. I have no idea why. I don't understand. But we're going to put pressure on the pinned piece. So we play this. Computer wanted that. I don't know why. I'm going to put pressure on the pinned piece. Because you can't come down here and attack this because of the pin. Right? There's no way for you to attack this guy. And this bishop is just gone. He's a dead man walking. You are going to lose the bishop. No matter what happens, I'm going to take that bishop. So I'm going to add more pressure. I'm going to add as much pressure as you'll let me add. They played this. I don't know why. And I doubled. They wanted me to drop the bishop back to D1. I don't understand why, but that's what they wanted me to do. So now this bishop is defended twice. But the problem is the king cannot take because it would be in check. So he plays this. I don't know why. I guess in anticipation of the file opening, maybe. And then you could take here, and that rook's, maybe that's the thought. But I take the bishop. I just go ahead and take it. It's hanging. We take it. We win a pawn. More materials off the board. And now I'm dominating the open file. And notice, you can't come down here and challenge me on this file. Now, you could come here and do it, but you're going to lose both rooks. But I'm attacking this square 2 times, which means your king is going to have to help if you're to contest the open file. So in that scenario, your king is going to have to go to one of these 2 squares. There is a gnat or something just right in my face, man. Anyway, I'm attacking this twice, which means a rook alone cannot come down and attack this square. It's going to have help. And since it's a dark square, this light bishop cannot interfere with what's going on that square. So that's notable. This arrangement here with the 2 rooks on the open file is incredibly powerful. So the king's forced over, and I played what I thought was a really mature move here. A really mature move. I'll give you a second. You can probably see on the side what I play, but I'll give you a second if you want to look at this and see if you could find what you would play. You can pause it if you want. This is what I played. Now, I do hang a pawn, but you're also hanging a pawn, and I'm up material. I don't want to get passive and start trying to defend everything, right? Because if I defend this, well, maybe you go over here and you defend this, right? Because now I can't take her, you take me. And then if I take your rook, then you replace that rook with this one, and now that's defended. And now you're down material, but you're giving your opponent an opportunity to start solidifying their position. So even if you're up material, you can have a queen. But if they kind of build themselves into a little structure and you can't get through, whatever that scoreboard says, +4, +5, +20, doesn't matter. If you can't break through, you can't break through. So I play here. I don't defend the pawn because I don't want this position to become one where he's able to hold on. So if we start trading and this board starts opening up, I feel like I'm in the better position. He challenges the open file because remember, before he couldn't come over. Well, I guess he could because the king went to here. But you're challenging the open file, but this rook is defended. And this bishop, you can't get to the square that you need to challenge the bishop and remove the defender of the rook. So I take. I win another pawn. Now, this you could argue that this is being greedy. You could make that argument. But the point here is I've won material. The king is in the open, and I'm going to grab these pawns over here, and let's see you stop me from getting another queen. He takes. Obviously, I recapture. Now he picks up the pawn, and I pick up this pawn. So if you go all the way back to this position where they want me to defend the pawn, right? So here, I play this. Maybe he comes over and defends that. It's not a good position, but he's holding on and he's making it difficult. Fast forward just a couple of moves here. Now look at the position. Because I didn't play passive, now look at the pieces. I've got 2 connected passed pawns. You can't stop either of these. I'm still up a knight. And this is just a really good position. So they pull the bishop back, hitting my rook. I play rook to b6. And I want to cut the king off. That's why I chose this square and not like this or, over here. I want to cut the king off. I don't want the king to be able to get into the game down here. And I could, maybe I could defend it like this. But that's the reason I chose this square, to cut the king off. Now that I'm looking at it, maybe it does get in the way of this pawn. But that's the point, and the computer approves, so I'll take it. But anyway, he plays this, and I do this. Boom. Now, he could take. Pick that up. Right? So I go here, takes. Oh, no. He can't do that because he loses this piece. So the bishop's got to leave. He comes back, and I activate my last piece. I rambled 30 seconds about something that wasn't even real. He comes over. Now he's hitting the c-pawn, but I take the bishop because I'm up material. So let's get rid of it. So now instead of being up a knight, now I'm up a bishop, and the bishop's all over the board. The bishop's better than the knight in this position. In the open position, the bishop is better. So now it's rook on rook, right? My 3 pawns versus your 3 busted up pawns, but I have these 2 connected passers and a bishop, right? I've not done anything fancy. Everything that I've done has been incredibly straightforward. I didn't play passive, and I just got my pieces out, got them into the game, and tried to play active chess, right? So I play here, because obviously the threat's to take my pawn. I don't want to lose the pawn. He plays here, and I do this. Thinking back, looking back at the game, I want to push these pawns. And this kind of gets in the way. The logic was to do this. This was the idea, to push him out of the way. But if he goes back, I don't know. So maybe this, I mean, it wasn't the best. It's not a losing. I didn't blunder a piece, but I play here. He checks, and I step up, right? So I've created this little cubby hole, and you can't, there's no checks here. There are no checks. If you want to push your pawns, be my guest, but you're not going to open this up. So he plays here, right? Now I just drop back, right? And that's what I was saying. This wasn't the best because I end up shuffling. So now I push the pawn. He gets behind it, but I just keep pushing, right? Because it's defended, right? This defends this. This defends this. Here comes another pawn move. Check. He steps out of the way. Push. He goes here. Now I defend c8. That's the idea behind this move. I want to get a queen, right? So bishop to c8, bishop to d7 defends the bishop to d7 defends the c8 square. So now I'm able to queen. We're shuffling, queen, and the game is pretty much over from here. And I'll just show you how the game plays out really quick. This gnat, man, right in my... Oh, I got him. Got his ass. All right, anyway, so he plays this. This is nothing. If you want it, take it, fine. I don't care. Takes, whatever. He drops back. I sacrifice the bishop. I don't want any kind of stalemates. This gets more material off the board. And it opens up the king. It takes away places for him to hide. Maybe it was two gnats, because there's another one. Anyway, the point is I get rid of this pawn. The bishop's not going to be here to add to the possibility of a stalemate. You get rid of a pawn that it gives him a place to hide. So I take it, and I'm just off to the races. If he gets close to the rook, I'm just going to move it. Cut the king off, and then you're in the ladder mate configuration here. There's quicker checkmates, but this is what I play. And if you haven't seen it, I always like to do this. If you haven't seen the ladder mate, you want your rook closer to the king, not the other way around, because the queen defends the rook. The rook is defending the queen because it creates a barrier so the king is never able to attack it. So if you're doing a ladder mate, you get to the end of the game, you want to make sure that it's your rook closest to the king. And from here, ladder mate, you roll it down the board. So that was a good game. And we played 93.5% accuracy. That is a very good game. But I really, going back, obviously you could say it's, look, you were up a piece, of course you were going to win. But that's not always the case. And I felt like, here, we played some really good chess, really active chess, and was able to win this game because of it. And really, the key idea here to me is, well, first of all, I really liked this. The computer says, hey, this is the best move. And maybe it is, if you see all of the ideas. But if you miss something, and let's say that, you push the pawn in front of your king. Well, if you follow that out for 4 moves, maybe that is the best move. But if you make a mistake and you drop the g-pawn, now you've created a huge weakness, right? You got a big problem. This move is not the best move, and you end up with this pin if you do what they say, and the computer says, hey, that's fine. And if you see all of those moves that make this the best move, great. But if you play like this, look, I've not created the weakness. I'm saying, hey, what are you doing here, buddy? He's got to leave, because what he'd love to do is something like this and start trying to gang up and create counterplay. Or if I take, you go here, and now I'm in a pin, and then you bust my pawn structure up, and then it's not so simple. But we just play simple here and say, hey, what are you doing? He takes, I take. There's a piece off the board. There's no pin anymore. My structure around my king stays intact. And then I just come back. So then we go here, and then you get this doubling of the rooks. Beautiful idea. This is something you should have in your repertoire. Anytime you get the opportunity to double your rooks like this on an open file, especially when the king is behind a pinned piece on the other side, it's a great idea. That rook comes over and just cash in. You win your extra pawn, more materials off the board. And this move here, it's not the best move, but I really thought that this move is just a backbreaker because you can't defend that pawn. Sure, you could play that. Absolutely, you can absolutely play that move. But what an ugly move. What an absolutely atrocious move. So, I mean, you know, you try to create some counterplay, you give that pawn away, you get the pawn back, but then you get this position, right? So I thought that this rook over is just a really good idea. This is really the reason I made the video. I watched a video earlier, and they were talking about rook activity in an endgame. And when I seen this, that's what I thought of was that video. You have a weakness here. And I just slide my rook over and say, how are you going to defend this? And, you know, obviously, they see the threat, right? The threat is me to take this. How are you going to defend this? Because now I'm up material. I'm on the open file. So if you want to get over here, okay, fine, it's going to cost you a rook. And I still control the entry squares to my side of the board. So, okay, fine. But now you got this pawn problem to deal with. And I'm just starting to ask some questions. Maybe you could come back. I didn't think about that. But the point is still the same. I'm asking questions now, and I'm staying active. And he plays this, and now the wheels just start coming off the bus. And there you go. So anyway, I thought that was just a cool little game, an instructive game, and wanted to share it with you. What was this a move? No, because then you got that, right? Yeah. Anyway, so that's the game. I thought that was an instructive little game, and wanted to share that with you guys. I'm sorry that I haven't been posting as much content lately. I started a new job. I say it all the time, but they are... It's a steel place, man, and all I do all day is shuffle around these big things of steel. And I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me show y'all. Can y'all see my finger? I broke my damn finger yesterday, man. I dropped it. Well, I didn't drop it. This other dude dropped a 120-pound block of steel on my finger. I about shit my pants when he done it. Man, it was all I was grabbing my finger. It's like, oh my god. So yeah. Anyway, I've had a lot of work, and it's rough, and I've been tired and just haven't been playing much chess. But anyway, if y'all like that, like, comment, subscribe, all the things. Thank you guys for stopping by, and I hope y'all learned something from this video. See y'all.